The second type of people are action. They're action people. They are listeners that strictly focus on the task, what will be done, what actions need to happen, when and who will do them. They focus on solving problems, and they stick to whatever agenda they are. Whatever agenda is on the list, that's what they stick to. And, if you've ever been around me, worked around me, whenever I do Praise for a Cure or any event and we write out the agenda, 9 times out of 10, we're going to go by exactly what was written out, because I am action-oriented at that moment. For that environment, that's the type of person that I need to be for that environment in order to produce a good product. The third type is content. Content listeners. They evaluate what they hear carefully and prefer credible sources. They evaluate the content from different perspectives and angles. What are the facts and the evidence? That's what they go by. A lot of times you can find these type of people, I would say these type of people are more like, you can find a lot of them in the courthouses. They're very business people, very business people. They don't want to hear all that other stuff. They want to see proof. They need to see what different types of ways can we solve this problem. They need to see different angles. They need to see facts and evidence. They're not just going to go by what you say. You will sound good to you, but to them, they're like, just kill it and show me the money. Okay? And the last one is people listeners. They focus on the feelings of other people and listen with relationships in mind. They respond well to humor and illustrations. That's what you call those people persons. How many people are people persons? Do we have any on this line?
I am sometimes.
Yeah. According to your environment?
Yeah.
Exactly. We talked about the adaptation of environments when we talked about traits. And it's the same person. Huh?
I'm a people person.
All right. So you focus on the feelings of others and listen to what they're saying and keep it in mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, let's get real. Whenever you talk to someone who has really been hurt, maybe they got in a broken relationship, what do you feel whenever you're listening to them?
If I'm talking to somebody who's been in a broken relationship, it's like I feel their pain. It's like I'm feeling their emotions, their pain, what they're going through. And it makes me want to cry right along with them.
Mhm. That's exactly how it makes you feel whenever you're a people person listener. You have empathy for them, and you feel their pain. Whenever they feel, you feel. And that's actually good when it comes down to relationships. When it comes down to relationships, now I'm not talking about business relationships. This is the type of listener you need to be whenever you're talking to your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend. Whenever you're talking to your family members, you need to be that type of person that will listen and feel what the other is going through. When we can listen and process what that other person is going through mentally, then we have connected. We have connected and we have become an effective listener in order to come up with a solution. Whether the solution is to sit there and cry with that person, hold their hand, but we can help them understand their problem better, and they will understand what we are saying better when we listen and feel what they are feeling. Does anybody have any questions so far?
I got a question. The foreign listener part you were talking about a while ago,
Do we need all four of them in our daily life?
Of course we do. Yes, we do. We need all four of them, and I'm going to tell you why. Because remember, I keep saying adapt to your environment. What if you are talking to a business person? If you're in a car salesman, if you're in a car dealership, if you're trying to apply for a loan, you need to be the content listener, the person who has you. You need to be able to present facts and evidence. What is the facts of your income? What is it? Where is the evidence of your income? You have to be that type of person and sitting and listen to them, because if they start saying, "Well, look, Miss Bowden, this is what we can do for you. I can put you in a ride for $1,500 down, but I'm going to also, and your payments are going to be $220 a month." You hear that part. That part is all good for you. And this happens a lot at tax time. I'm glad you asked that. It happens a lot at tax time. Whenever you hear the down payment, you hear the payments, but the part you don't hear is the taxes and tax, around $350 extra, plus, for whatever else they need to add on there. And all of a sudden, you jumped up to an extra $500 before you know it. But all you heard was the down payment and the payment. What if you're going to rent a home and they tell you, we're going to need first and last month's rent? You're listening to that. You hear that. That's in everyday life. Every day somebody's somewhere co-signing for something. Somewhere somebody is doing a contract. We need that action. Let me get some water, y'all. In action, the listeners are strictly focused to what you're saying. That's a man. That's a man. In your everyday life, pay attention. You will tell your man or spouse or whatever, you tell them something, and how they relate to whatever you said, it could be good or bad. It just depends on what type of man you have. That's action-oriented listeners right there. They're hearing what you're saying. You're relating the message to them, and they're focusing more on what they got to do, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, and they're focusing on just sticking to that task at hand that you told them to do first. Notice whenever you tell somebody something, to do something, and then all of a sudden you remember, oh, I forgot this part here. And then they're like, oh, like that, They like, dog, you just added something else on me, because they were focused on what you had originally said, And the time type of people are people just like I said. They may be like vice presidents in businesses. They may be pastors in churches. Sometimes pastors don't have time to actually sit there and hear everybody that has a complaint or has a problem, because, they have to hear what's going on. Tell me what's going on, because their time is pressed, because there's so many different people that needs tending to. And everyone has a different need. So those are the time-oriented people. Maybe you can see the doctors in the doctor's office. When you go to the emergency room, where they ask you what's wrong. As soon as you start to add extra stuff in, say like, for example, you went to an emergency room. Your main complaint was that you had shortness of breathing and that your chest was hurting. Okay. So they took that down, and all of a sudden you said, yeah, but then I've been having diarrhea, and then, something wrong with my toe here, and you start listing things. Those doctors are not the ones to talk to about that, not at the emergency room. Maybe you can talk to them about that at your family doctor, but the emergency room is not the place to talk about that, because those doctors are ready to treat you for what the main cause is right then and there. They need you to be factual, and they need you to be clear about what's going on so that they can save your life. Do y'all understand that?
Uh-huh.
So those are the 4 different types of listeners, and yes, we need it all. So what are the pros of being a good listener? What are the pros of being a good listener? What are the perks of being a good listener? What are the rewards of being a good listener? Does anybody know? Okay.
Would it be that?
Huh?
I was going to say, would it be that time, action, content, and people?
You still on that one?
You said you said what is the reward?
Yeah. The opportunities that you receive by being a good listener is increased communication. This is a list. You might need to write this down.
Okay.
You should write this down. Excuse me for coughing. Increased communication. Do you know how much better your relationship would be with everybody if we could just listen, process it mentally, and then be able to understand? When we talk with people, we would feel different about what people are going through. We wouldn't be so quick to judge people if we was to just listen and have that increased communication. There would be a lot more love in the world if there was more increased communication. And that's one thing about technology. When technology came out, it knocked a lot of one-on-one communication out, a lot of communications with family. Yeah, we say love you through text message, inboxes, but it's nothing like being in the face of somebody, looking at them when they say they love you. And being a great listener also strengthens relationships, business relationships, and also personal relationships. Whenever you get strength in a relationship, you can go on, and, he understands you. You understand him, and nobody can come between that. That is a strength right there that nobody can come between. When you're in a business relationship, like me, whenever I go off, because I actually listen to what clients want. I listen to what they are saying, and at the end of the day, you know what? They come back to me because they're like, Jamie heard what we were trying to do. She saw the vision. It strengthened my business relationship. And that created, the third thing is create opportunity. Because I listened and did what needed to be done, it created opportunities which allowed me to go out and see other people, get other clients. They referred me to different people. It creates opportunity in life. When we listen to everything around us, we can become even more appreciative of God and what he has done on this earth. I sat outside today just to see what I could hear. I could hear birds. I could hear the mill going off, factories. I could hear cars. God has a beautiful earth, and we just take time to take it in. When people say take time to stop and smell the roses, smell the roses and listen to what's around you at the same time. And also, being a good listener will save you time and money. Remember how we always meet fast talkers. Do anybody know fast talkers?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to at least one family member, friend, or somebody who is a fast talker. Again, business car salesman, fast talker. But I tell my children every time, I tell them, they're not talking fast. They're not really talking fast. You just got to slow down. You got to process what they're saying. It's not that they're saying I'm going to cheat you. They are telling you to your face that they're going to cheat you. They're not really sugarcoating. It's just how they're saying it. If you take time to slow it down and listen to what they're saying, I'm going to give y'all a great example of this. Oh, my God, this is a great example. I was in an area years ago, and this guy came up with all these interior designs, interior decorating designs of mirrors. And y'all know those mirrors are expensive, very expensive. This guy had 5 mirrors, and he took the mirrors and went up to a woman, and he said, hey, here, I got these mirrors right here. If you go ahead and get them, I'll give them to you for $20 each, $20 each. I'm just trying to get rid of them. He told her, I'm trying to get rid of them. And she didn't listen. And because she didn't pay attention to his body language and didn't listen to the words that were coming out of his mouth, guess what?